Listen, let's talk about some of the big stories of the week. And, well, first, I'm going to jump straight to the end, because we always start with Harry and Meghan. But I'm going to talk about this, which is Caroline Graham's exclusive in the Mail on Sunday today, which is about Princess Margaret and her affair with Eddie Fisher, who, of course, was Debbie Reynolds' husband. I don't know if they were together at the time, but Debbie Reynolds' husband...
and Liz Taylor.
And Liz Taylor's husband. In fact, didn't Liz Taylor steal him off Debbie Reynolds?
Debbie, yes. The scandal, and I didn't even know about Princess Margaret, so the scandal on top of the scandal.
Yeah, because I think what happened was, because I once went to Debbie Reynolds' one-woman show in London years ago, and she told the story of how I think that Liz Taylor's husband and her marriage had broken down. Unsurprisingly, she had 8 of them, and 6 of them, however many. And she sent round Eddie Fisher to console her, and well, he did.
Actually,
really
I
did.
do. I know. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you were there and heard the story. Didn't that husband pass away? And they were really close. Like the couples were very, very close.
Yes, I think that is right, actually. I think it was one of Liz Taylor being widowed, or something had happened. I don't know what had happened.
Yeah.
But Liz Taylor was devastated. So Eddie Fisher was sent round by Debbie to console Liz Taylor, and he did. And he ended up leaving then Debbie Reynolds. But, of course, he'd had Carrie by that point and everything, so everything was rosy, I suppose, in that department.
That's true. Well, this really goes in line with some of our prior conversations, you know, especially with the rumor that Princess Margaret may or may not, but we like to believe that she did, may or may not have had a fling with Mick Jagger. Can you imagine? Then we've discussed in the past, you know, there was that kind of gangster that she hung out with.
I can't remember what his name is, but the gangster who was particularly well endowed. No, it's true.
It's too early for that. You're a heathen, okay?
She had an affair with a gangster who was very well endowed, and apparently he used to show his endowment, and we're not being crude in the way I'm saying this, are we? He used to prove his endowment by putting it in a pint glass, and it used to hit the bottom.
Poor Joe is sitting there in his navy blue suit asking God for forgiveness as he listens to this conversation. So apparently, Carrie Fisher actually confirmed this years ago when she appeared on the Jonathan Ross show in 2016, saying, "My father had relations," that's not the word she used, "with Princess Margaret in a beautiful way. They made love."
Oh, that's so American. That's so American. They made love. That is such an American term, isn't it? And apparently,
that's right.
So she declined to comment further, saying, "I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for this." But in an exclusive interview with the Mail on Sunday, ex-wife Terry, so this must be Eddie Fisher's ex-wife Terry Richard, she said, "Eddie never talked about Princess Margaret in public. He respected her too much, but he told me about their encounter many, many times during our marriage. He looked back on it with great affection."
Aw. So he must have really thought very highly of her. I mean, I know that she's got this royal rebel reputation, but she was awfully fun. And she was awfully, I mean, she just seemed like she had such a beautiful, bold spirit.
That's one way of putting it. That's a very regal way of putting that she enjoyed the company of men. And who wouldn't? She was a princess.
Hey,
who wouldn't?
What? She was denied the love of her life. If you are denied the love of your life, then why not try every lollipop in the Halloween candy bag? You know what I'm saying?
And she did. John Bindon was the gangster, the notorious gangster, and he used to apparently, as well, one of the other tricks that he had, and again, we can say this in a non-crude way, he actually was able, not only was he able to put his endowment in the pint glass and it hit the bottom of the pint glass, you wouldn't want to You wouldn't want to order a drink at the bar after that, would you? But the other thing was he used to. Such was the strength of that endowment. He'd be able to hang 5 pint glasses from it.
Like, how do you figure out that you're capable of doing that? That's what I want to know. I mean, why does your brain go there?
That's so true. How do you work out that's something you're good at? That's so true. Like, you're emptying the dishwasher one day and you just, oh, how do you know? How do you find out? That's so true. I slipped whilst emptying the dishwasher and look, I found
Wait,
out.
and I think when we were talking, we've talked about this before. Didn't one of her ladies in waiting pass out because
Yes.
he might have given her a sneak peek and she just passed out?
Well, apparently, again, John Bindon was the gangster. They had an intimate relationship in the 70s when he spent 3 weeks at her home on the Caribbean island of Mystique. I wouldn't have thought that she would have managed a 4th week, but and John Bindon, he used to be his party trick. So he used to sort of, quite often show his goods to those who might have been interested, or those indeed who might not have been interested. And a lady in waiting passed out and required smelling salts, I think, because she was so shocked at what it was that she saw. Which, I mean, you have to admit, in a royal household, that would be fairly shocking.
No, absolutely. But some of these
maybe
details,
not nowadays.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's true.
But back then.
Some of these details are shocking, too, because Eddie had told people about Margaret's, I'm going to say perfect body, but it was a specific part. It was her top, it was the top of her body.
I think we can say that. She was 22 at the time, and he was 24, and he said that Margaret had the most perfect breasts of any woman. We can say that, can't we? We're not being disrespectful. That's not an unkind or weird thing to say. And that's a lovely compliment.
Oh my gosh, I wish somebody would say that about me, if we're being honest. Nobody's going to say that about me if we're being honest, okay? But
I wish someone would say that about you.
I like to imagine, Christo, that, Joe and people like Joe are listening to us every Sunday morning in their suits getting ready for church. And this is not church talk, okay?
Well, it's anatomy talk. It's an anatomical talk, which is being done in a very, very respectful and graceful way, which is very nice. Apparently, I would never have told the Princess Margaret story because it was something Eddie never shared with the public. But when Carrie came out and said it on TV show, then I figured it was fine to put the details out there. Well, Carrie Fisher, of course, Eddie Fisher's daughter, was notoriously loose-lipped.
Yeah. Oh, so much fun. I absolutely adore her. I miss her to this day.
Yeah.
She was, for the most part, I don't think I've ever seen an interview with her where she was unkind. I think she was a very kind person. And even though some would consider her a Nepo baby, I think she worked really hard when she was given opportunities. And, especially with Star Wars, she earned her place. She earned her place on the Walk of Fame. Yeah, absolutely.
Mark Hamill, or was it? I think it was Mark Hamill. He once said that there are 3 forms of brilliant communication to tell the world something, and that is telephone, telegram, or telecarry.
Amazing.
So there you go. That's how it was out there. So there you go. So Eddie Fisher, Princess Margaret, they had a night of apparently passion, explosive passion, and there we go. And apparently,
I love those stories. I love hearing that.
I love anything about Princess Margaret. She is a goddess. She is an icon, and she is wonderful. And I hope that the portrayal in the next season of The Crown is flattering. Though we haven't even. I don't know if we'll have time. Have you got any thoughts on the Beckhams? Have you seen their documentary yet, Kinsey?
Well, what I'll say about the documentary is that I did not take away from the documentary whether or not there was an actual affair. So today, while I'm reading all of these headlines from the alleged, mistress,
yes,
I'm like, oh my gosh, I think this really happened.
Yeah, it's pretty much accepted that something happened. But the documentary And apparently they're under massive criticism because the documentary also doctored some headlines as well.
Yes, it was very Harry and Meghan of them.
Very Harry and Meghan of them, because they didn't want to. But yeah, she's now come out and said that the documentary made it look like she was the perpetrator, and that, you know, she was playing centre forward rather than the defence we thought she was.
Yeah, and that,
she wasn't the goalkeeper; she was the attacker.
Yeah, I liked that. I think she made a good point. Whether you are Team Beckham or not, when she said that his actions caused his wife to hurt, because at the end of the day, he did make a decision that negatively affected his family.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, now going back to Princess Margaret a second.
Okay.
Simon from Hull has said that you are perfect in the department that we were speaking about before.
You're so bad.
Yeah, someone else has said that they would like to say that to you, Kinsey, but they would need to see proof first.
Well, no.
No, I don't think that would be appropriate at 13 minutes to 6.
No,
I don't think that would be appropriate at any point in the morning on a serious news channel such as this.
If there is a nursing home anywhere near you, just know that that's what you're dealing with here.
Do you go and expose yourself at nursing homes?
No.
Wouldn't be admitting that on national television either, Kinsey.
I'm never getting invited back. All I know is I'm never getting invited back. Whoever edits this for digital, make sure you do some nice edits.
You can see the headlines. Royal correspondent admits, I go to nursing homes.
That's not what happened.
Kinsey, I really think, keep that stuff to yourself. Now, let's talk about... well, we mentioned The Crown just before. Really interesting story about The Crown today as well. I don't know if you've seen this story, but Princess Diana's Warzone charity, did you see this one?
I haven't yet, no.
They've been snubbed. So they've got Elizabeth Debicki as Diana walking through.
And they didn't have that logo on her chest. Is that what
the Halo Trust?
What they're saying about?
Yeah, the Halo Trust has been taken off, but they've put another logo instead of a different charity that doesn't really have anything to do with it. Relief Aid, which is another humanitarian organisation, but Relief Aid is saying, well, that's very nice of you, but why?
Yeah. That's so strange. It's like, did somebody not do their homework, or is that a charity that means something to Peter Morgan and that's a nice nod to them? That's a strange decision to make. Or is it
that they just came up with the name Relief Aid, not really realising that there was another charity called Relief Aid? Because the logo of Relief Aid in New Zealand, which is the charity, doesn't match with the logo of the Relief Aid, which is on Diana's little landmine apron. So it's an odd one.
That's very odd. I'd say that it's just one of those things that's going to come up, and when we inevitably are forced to do our true or false, The Crown segments on all the entertainment shows.
Now, tell me about Prince William, the new actor playing Prince William on The Crown.
Well, I actually think you and I went over this on Thursday.
This is our Majesty podcast, which is coming back bigger and better live on a weekly basis from next Thursday.
Yeah, as long as we're not kicked off YouTube because of you. Yeah, so this is according to The Express, the actor that plays Prince William, I believe it's Rufus Campbell. No, that's the young Prince William in part 1. Who is this actor? I better be sure about his name. He has shown up on set allegedly intoxicated, and
wasn't it hungover?
Yeah, I mean, hungover and vomiting. So he's showing up not his best work. So now I'm not going to be able to watch The Crown without wondering if, or when William and Kate kiss in The Crown, I'm going to be like, I hope he has a breath mint. I hope he has a breath mint. Because the story is that the actor that plays Prince William had a little fun while he was
vomiting on set. Yeah. But, I mean, is the script that bad?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Might well be.
when I was putting together stories for the show, I thought, yeah, that's interesting. Krista and I can have fun with that. So I didn't remember where I read it. So I was typing in Prince William drunk. And I found this amazing story that I'd never seen before about Helena Bonham Carter getting intoxicated and asking Prince William to be the godchild to one of her children. And she says he'd had a little bit to drink too. But unfortunately, he turned her down and said that he could not be the godfather to her child. But, she plays Princess Margaret in The Crown in some of our favorite seasons, season 3 and season 4. And she talks about here in the States, she was on Andy Cohen's show and said it was Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, and said she was a little intoxicated at a party, but he'd had a few drinks too. And she said he was not totally sober himself, not in a bad way. He was just very jolly, which I always think Prince William is jolly. What a cute way to describe him.
And also that means he was completely paralytic.
But she said that he said to her, "You don't want me to be the godfather to your child," which I understand. That is a lot of attention on that. If you're an actor that wants to keep your child unseen and protected, man, would that be a way to put a microscope on your kid?
See, if I had the chance of having Prince William and Princess Kate to be the godparents to my child, I would adopt a child. That would be an incentive.
100%. We could do that together, because I love that idea.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we could have one.
Yeah.
We could have a royal baby.
This is our child that we're only doing, so we guaranteed get the Christmas cards every year from Kensington Palace, from the Kensington Palace office.
Yes, which we need to get one of those, by the way. That needs to be our ambition, to get a Christmas card from Prince William and Princess Kate. I really do think that that needs to be our ambition. All of the support we've given them versus Harry and Meghan, we deserve a card.
A shout out.
We do. Now, apparently, let's go to the Mona and the Grim Monas of Montecito, because apparently, is he house hunting over here? Apparently.
Yes, according to reports, I'm not necessarily. So, I don't know if I do feel like he is, because I think he's had a really hard time with the idea of being rejected. When he came out for Well Child, asked to stay at one of the royal estates and was denied, told he needed to basically Airbnb, give them X amount of time in advance if he wanted to stay at one of the royal estates.
Where was the Well Child Awards?
In London. And so I think that he had a hard time with the fact that he was going to have to give them such notice, give them advance. He's very private at this stage in his life. He's very protective and concerned about security in the UK. So I do believe that he would likely like a safe place to rest when he's home, that he feels comfortable in and confident, that there aren't people outside or hidden microphones somewhere. And according to Crazy Days and Nights here if that's a Hollywood blog, they predicted Megxit. They predicted all sorts of crazy stories that actually came to fruition. They say that once Prince Harry does purchase a space in the UK, all the stories, I don't know if you've noticed, they've been like, Harry wants to live there, Meghan doesn't want to. Crazy Days and Nights says once Harry secures a spot, he's going to make sure that his name is the only name attached to the venue, attached to the house, attached to whatever, apartment, whatever he chooses. So it basically becomes an escape for him in case things don't work out.
Well, I'm just looking it up now, and there is a very reasonable Premier Inn in Putney Bridge, which is very close to the Hurlingham Club, where the Well Child Awards are held. And I could get a room on hold for him right now for September of next year, and for one night. And I could hold that room for him right now. One adult, I think it's fair to say. A standard room, which will have a power shower and free Wi-Fi, and also a hairdryer. Probably won't need that. But tea and coffee making facilities, and that would cost him, the entire price would be in total £247, but he does get £12 off if he pays in advance.
Well, you had me at power shower.
Not at hairdryer, but at power shower. Why? I mean, the point I'm making is perhaps not a Premier Inn, because this looks. I've never liked a Premier Inn because I don't like a polyester sheet. I like to have cotton, and I find that I can't breathe in polyester sheets.
You're like, I need 3,000 thread count.
No, just cotton. It has to be 100% cotton. I can tell. I can get into a bed, and 2 minutes later, I can say these aren't cotton, because suddenly I start like seizing up and not breathing properly, and I start sweating, and it's a very unpleasant experience for everyone involved, especially my partner sleeping next to me. But Premier Inn, the point I'm making is, it doesn't have to be Premier Inn, but why can't he stay in a hotel? Why does he need to buy somewhere? Well, he can if he wants, but why?
Well, there were rumors that he sometimes stayed at Soho House, where Meghan has they both have contacts at Soho. But also, and I'm spacing on, I can't believe this, I'm spacing on the position he has, but he still holds a position within King Charles's monarchy. Is it something of state? He still holds a position, and people are demanding that he not, like, if King Charles is unavailable and if certain people are unavailable, then he's in charge. And
well, he's still in the line of succession.
It's not the succession though. Is it Chancellor of State? Is that
okay?
What
I don't know that I don't know. But I mean, even if anything, God forbid, happens to Charles.
No, don't even talk about it. I don't even.
Then we would end up with King.
Don't talk about it.
King
Don't
Harry.
say it. I'm allergic to this conversation.
Queen
but
Meghan.
I think he is a Chancellor of State, and he only is allowed to have that because if he is a resident of the UK, and people are demanding that he lose that title. And I could be totally wrong about the title. I'll Google it and correct myself if I'm wrong.
I'm just saying we could be doing
why
these
are you
royal
saying that?
updates, and you could be talking about Her Majesty Queen Meghan.
That is when I retire from this business.
What would be wrong with her? You'd be nice. Yeah, Kim Kardashian could turn up for the coronation, and it would be amazing. And Ngozi Fulani, she would be lady in waiting. It would be absolutely perfect. So I can't see any problem with that whatsoever. And if you do, then you're clearly horribly racist, Kinsey. Okay.
Oh,
and on that note, we have to say goodbye. Thank you, Kinsey Schofield,
Bye.
with her Right Royal Roundup. Queen Meghan, what would be wrong with that?